Welcome back to the channel, Classic Volkswagen Lovers Junior with classic VW Bucks and Sonny the Super Beetle. Today we're going to be taking a look at Sonny's Carb Idle setting. Before I go on with this setting, I want to say thank you to all of my new subscribers. Also thank you to my current followers and all the Volkswagen community that has supported me through the restoration of Sonny the Super Beetle. Thank you so much. Also, I want to send greetings to all of the new folks that I met. Tito from Jauco. I also met a nice family, Ezequiel and his wife and his kid. Also sending greetings to a couple of friends that I know from maybe about 4 or 5 years ago that I met them at the Volkswagen Fest. Danny, greetings to Noel, Jay, to all of you, Adrian, Miguel. It was a pleasure to meet all of you and chat with you at the Volkswagen Fest. Going back to the idle setting with the carb, so I did notice that it was a little high on the idle and called my attention because I had already set that up and it was working fine. But then I realized, you know, this is a carb that I purchased online. It's a Chinese carburetor, and it came with this little spring that I happened to replace, and believe it or not, that helped a lot. It actually helped the car come back down to about 800 or maybe, you know, close to 900 RPMs. So it seems like the spring is not strong enough to retract the cam lever from the car back to its position. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and walk you through the steps. By no means I'm going to claim I'm an expert on this. Whatever I know about carb settings, which is not my forte, I have learned from reading and from other, you know, friends and, you know, and Volkswagen community that I have seen also in the past. And I also have the Bentley manual that gives you a step-by-step guideline on how to set your 34 PICT4 carb. So let's go ahead and take a close look at what we're going to do. First, we're going to label a couple of things so that you know when I'm talking, what's the proper terminology used when setting the carb, and what are the parts that you're going to be looking at. So this is your cam right here, and this right here is your screw to adjust the cam setting. All right, so we're going to be talking about this cam, this screw right here, this spring right here, which is brand new and a whole lot much stronger than the one that came with the carb here. And then we're going to be talking about two main volume adjusters, this one right here and this little tiny one here. A small one is going to be your volume control screw, top one right here, bypass screw. We're going to be working with those two. Down here you'll have your oil deep stick, and you may wonder, what does that has to do with what he's going to be doing right now? Well, believe it or not, before you do any adjustments in your car, you want to heat up your car and bring it to right temperature before you start messing up with your settings. And then I'm going to go step by step as to where you need to be at and how we're going to be doing this. So I'm going to go ahead and replace the dipstick for a oil gauge stick that I have that we're going to stick in there, and we're going to start the car to reach about 122 to 158 Fahrenheit degrees. And then after we do that, we're going to shut the engine off, and then we're going to start messing up with these settings here step by step. Now with the oil deep stick gauge inserted, we're gonna go ahead and start the car. All right, looks like we are at 140, 41. That's pretty good there. So I'm gonna go ahead and shut the engine off. Okay, let's pull this gauge from here. Looks like we are at 140 right there. You should be between 122 and 158 Fahrenheit, so we're pretty good right there. I'm going to go ahead and put the deep stick back in place so I won't forget. So So next we're gonna take the throttle adjustment screw here, and we're gonna screw it out until we have enough clearance between the tip right there, the throttle cam right here. So we're backing this out. This is fully open. Not right there. Now the tip, now this tip here is not touching the cam. So now we're gonna screw this back in until it touches the cam. And notice that I'm pulling back the lever because it has to touch by itself with only the tension applied by the spring. That's touching now. Okay, and then once we see that it is touching, then we're gonna take this screw here and we're gonna go 1/4 turn. So if you look at the opening on the head, it looks like we're almost at the horizontal position. We're gonna turn this 1/4 turn. That's it. So you're gonna need a small flat screwdriver like this one right here. And then the next step is that we're gonna take this volume control screw and turn it in until it comes to a stop. Now adjust the volume counterclockwise 2.5 to 3 turns, and then start the car. Initial setup, you turn this clockwise until it comes to a stop. Once it comes to a stop, you want to back the volume control back about 2.5 to 3 turns. Then you start your car, and then you take your bypass volume control here and you start adjusting it until you find that sweet spot. You go back and you check your tachometer and make sure that you are within 800 to 900 RPMs. Once you have reached 800 or 900 RPMs, you want to come back down here and adjust the set screw here until you have reached the fastest idle in your car. Then you want to back this in clockwise until the car drops down 20 or 30 RPMs. Once that's done, then you want to come back here to the bypass and adjust the volume bypass until you reach again your 800 or 900 RPM. And that's pretty much your setup right there. Big I am at 900 RPM, so let's go ahead and take this camera off the stand here and see if I can show you that. Right there. So we look good. We are at 900 RPMs. Our volt meter is at 14. And then we got our oil pressure over here, so that's pretty good. Okay folks, that's pretty much it. A tedious process, not impossible to do it. Just a few tools, some guidelines. Make sure you follow the steps. If you own a Bentley manual, it'll provide you the step-by-step on how to do this. I gotta tell you, this is not my forte, but you know, I always say that if a man invented, I can probably do it. So that's my saying. So when it comes to carburation, you know, and stuff like that, injection, that's not really my forte, but I always try. So as you can see here, with just a couple of screwdrivers, I was able to adjust the idle speed on the carburetor, so it's not something that it's impossible to do. You just have to be careful and patient. And a tip, when you are adjusting the volume control or the bypass, just go little by little. Don't go about doing full turns right away. Just start at some point where you turn just a little bit, check it, make sure the car is warm, because if it's not, then you'll find that your setting is not going to be right if your car is not at the right temperatures. If this is the first time that you're watching this channel, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until then, this is Junior with a classic VW Bucks and Sonic the Super Beetle. Junior out.